What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about something that was trending yesterday or last night. Apparently, Solange knows, who is the younger sister of Beyoncé, she has a 17-year-old son. And apparently, he has gotten pregnant by a teenaged Onlyfans model. I believe she's either 18 or 19. And she already has an Onlyfans account. Let me just say this before I get into Juelz, her son. This is where we are in this society. We are at a point to where now girls, I want y'all to understand something about this young lady. She's actually still in high school. She's still in high school. That means that she's in a math class filming content. Or, what I mean the PG content. I mean the content you put on your Instagram. But she's still in high school and she's filming content, not when she's in class, but when she leaves class. Now, she is over the age of 18. But how long has she had that OnlyFans? And apparently her and Daniel Jr. have been seeing each other, and Daniel Jr. got her pregnant. And she decided that it would be a good idea to go and post the messages all over social media. Now, she ended up taking them all down, of course, but the damage had already been done. As a matter of fact, let's get into this Hip Hop Wired article. It says Solange Knowles maintains a far lower profile than her older sister Beyoncé, but that doesn't mean that any news on the singer and songwriter doesn't get a lot of traction. Solange found herself trending on Twitter over the tail end of the weekend after news of her 17-year-old son and girlfriend are expecting. Most may already know that in 2004, Solange gave birth to her son Daniel Juelz Jaye Smith Jr. when she was a teenager herself during her first marriage to Daniel Smith Sr. The younger Smith allegedly expecting a child with his girlfriend, although we couldn't find any news pointing to the facts. On Twitter, Solange is somehow catching strays over her son's actions, both current and in the past, including old news that he reportedly exposed details of a relationship between him and Disney star Sky Jackson that went afoul. With the singer's name trending and folks asking all the right and wrong questions, along with plenty of assumptions, we've gathered the best reactions we could find. Again, we must urge that this news bit is speculative at best, and we're still waiting news of an official announcement when that happens. You know, I went and visited the young lady in question's Twitter. Now, this is the video that went viral. Let me go ahead and this is the video that went viral. This is young Daniel. And what in it is going to contain messages from the girl and him. And I want y'all to understand, these are teenagers, even though one of them is older, you know. And by the way, I think people overlook the fact that, you know, Daniel Jr. was underage when he was dating Sky Jackson. You know, Sky Jackson was older than he was, and they were in a relationship, but people got mad at him because he put out details of the relationship because they wanted to protect Sky Jackson at all costs. Even though Sky Jackson has put people on blast before. Now, these are teenagers. And now what's very interesting, I spoke about Bronny James before. And I spoke about how Bronny James was getting heat because he may or may not have been dating a Caucasian female. And you had adults trying to police his dating life, right? But I don't hear about Bronny, you know, exposing this chick, dating this OnlyFans model, because Bronny has things to do. Bronny is preoccupied with sports. The one thing I'm noticing about Daniel Jr. is he's not doing anything. And I did some research on Daniel Jr. People are asking him, why was he putting out stuff about Sky Jackson? I guess they're talking about how he could get sued. And Daniel Jr. was like, Beyonce is my aunt. I don't care. Like, that is his whole attitude towards life. Now, apparently, according to the quote unquote girlfriend, he is very afraid of his mother and father, as he should. The thing is about Daniel Jr. is that Daniel Jr. is living with his father. He's not living with his mother. You know, Solange is out living her best life. She doesn't have time to keep up with Daniel Jr. So Daniel Jr. is living with his father and just doing whatever it is he wants to do. Now, again, I'm not here to demonize Solange, but there's an entitlement problem here. This young man is very entitled and he's very spoiled. And he needs to find something. He's at a very pivotal point in his life. When you're 17 years old, you got to figure out which direction you're going to go. Am I going to go towards finding myself, finding a career, or am I going to leech off of my aunt's name? You know, because you're bringing a child into this world. You're 17 years old. You went from having no children to having all the potential in the world to do anything to now you're going to probably have to get a job. You're going to have to do something because I'm pretty sure his father is not going to want to help him take care of no child. Solange is probably going to be pissed because she's going to be a 35-year-old grandmother. Now, she did have him when she was a teenager. That generational curse. But I don't think she's looking forward to, you know, being a babysitter. I mean, Daniel Jr. is living with his father. So I just think that this guy really has no direction. And you can tell that he's just used to getting his way. He's used to getting his way. Now, I'm pretty sure him and Solange's relationship with each other is good with each other. I don't think they have any issues, but he was living with his dad. Solange is going to be a grandmother. Beyonce going to be a grand aunt. Solange is minding her business. And then there goes Juelz cutting up. Me thinking Solange was trending because of a new album coming out. Why y'all blaming Solange like Juelz don't live with his daddy? So is it the daddy's fault? Is that what they're saying? Juelz, if he wasn't related to Solange Beyonce. Why are we blaming Solange for this when her son has a father as well? I am only seeing people blame her. The boy lives with his father, not her. So whose fault is it? I want to be a fly on the wall at Solange's house right now. I'm more shocked that Solange having a whole 17-year-old son. Has it really been that long since we saw her pregnant in social media? Yes, it has been that long. Everyone out here talking about Solange going to be a grandma, but no one's talking about Daniel Sr. being a grandpa, or he got her pregnant and married her when she was 17 and he was 19. It's kind of like the reverse, because now Daniel Jr.'s baby mother is, she's 19 and he's 17. So it's like a flip. You know, he was dating Sky Jackson when he was like 16 and she was like 19. Never thought Solange would be a grandmother at 35, but that's 2022 for you. Why do people have so much negative to say about Solange as a parent because of her son's choices, especially if you've never raised a child yourself? Children are their own people. They make their own choices. Some of y'all are much older than Juelz and doing far worse things. Well, see, that's the thing. It's almost like you want to say, hey, when a child is acting up and the child has no direction in life as a youngster, it's because he didn't do better. I mean, that's what you say to people when they are 18, 19, 20, and you've already raised them in the directionless. He's been directionless for the last couple of years under the watchful eye of his parents. I'm not here to blame or shame anybody, but we have to point out the facts here, people. He's been wayward for a while now. So I do think that the entitlement that he has, I don't know if they're trying to get him a direction. It doesn't seem like he has one, but he's going to have to get one. They're going to have to get hard on him. They're going to have to really apply pressure for him to do better. Because something has to be done, because he's going in the wrong direction fast. And I know it's easy to blame the mother, the father, but we don't understand. Maybe he went to stay with his father because he was out of control. And maybe his father can't do nothing with him either. So what do you do at this point? What do you do at this point? This guy clearly doesn't seem to care. And he knows that he has a family that's going to back him up, that's going to get him out of situations. And it's that sense of entitlement. I will tell you this, though. A lot of times you can't teach work ethic. You can't teach hard work. You can't teach having a level of want to. Adversity makes the best people. But when people grow up in a lap of luxury, a lot of times they can do two things. They can pull away from it, or they can gravitate towards it. He's gravitated towards the fact that his family has been successful for so long. And this young man really needs to get himself together, because we can't just be out here blaming the mother. Now, if there's anybody I can look at this situation and say, they're definitely looking for attention, they're definitely looking to be seen, I will say it's the girlfriend. Because she's a whole adult out here legally, and she having a relationship with a 17-year-old. Now, I believe according to her, it's still in high school, but you're still an adult. You got a whole OnlyFans where you're doing X-rated stuff, and you're with this 17-year-old. Accountability needs to be on all sides here. And she deserves just as much accountability as anybody. Because why are you having relations with a 17-year-old who doesn't have his own? He's living off of his family. How is he going to help you support the child? Now, she may not think she needs support because she has OnlyFans, and she don't think that she'll need him, but trust me, he goes and dates another female, oh, she gonna put him on child support. But because he has no income, he's not gonna get nothing. Not gonna get nothing from him. Listen, I hope it works out. Solange is probably a completely different person outside of social media. We did see her in that elevator with Jay-Z when they had that situation. So we know that Solange may have a different side of her that we don't see. A very serious side of her, which is probably why Daniel Jr. was staying with his dad. But this will definitely be a situation to monitor. I hope he gets his life together. And I hope that maybe having a child will get him going in a positive direction, because again, I do agree that we can't just blame the parents all the time. The children have to take accountability, because now apparently he's going to be a dad. So let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see y'all next one.